whether it's the South Australian Government, Tourism SA, whether it's the AFL, the Sandful, Adelaide Oval, the Crows, the Power, everyone's played their role. And there had to be compromise. So being open, everyone's had to give a bit, but we've done it to get some upside for the state. And we're all going to benefit from that. The level of collaboration for the bigger purpose has been fantastic.
And Nick, that was one of the things that Rowey and I found real early. You were one of the guys that we got on. We went bang, bang, bang with all the stakeholders, basically. We couldn't believe when we got off the calls, we all went, this is incredible. This has only just been announced, and every single one of you were on the same page.
Correct.
That's got to be a credit to everybody, collaboration.
No, absolutely, and a lot of that credit goes to the Premier because he managed to get us all together and we're all got on the script.
He's a blooming go-getter, isn't he?
He is, and we're
good-looking
very lucky to have
rooster,
him in our
stands
game.
tall. He reckons he got Gillon a headlock to get this. Is that true? Can you confirm nor deny that?
It wouldn't surprise me, and I'm sure those negotiations are ongoing about keeping Gather Round here next year. So, if we continue to stay on script and we continue to demonstrate that we're good to work with, people say, gee, it's pretty hard to not go to South Australia.
Are you confident we'll get it next year?
Look, we can only do our best.
We can't be a one-year wonder. Gil's on at 5:30. We've got to get it.
Yeah, all right. We'll give it a go.
I think the lead up to this point has been great, but now we've got to deliver 4 great days.
Yeah. Well, Nick, all the best. You won't be drinking the next 4 days, will you?
No, I'll be on the waters, just making sure everything's where it should be. I'll leave that to other people.
And just leave the Hagues alone. They're Tim's and mine.
I won't touch
them. No, have Monday off.
Yeah, done. Nick Addison, our guest, Adelaide Oval CEO, back shortly.
Yes, Caroline Wilson coming up after the 5 o'clock news.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Clear tonight, down to 12. Evening showers tomorrow, 26. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher. The gates are just about to open at Adelaide Oval for tonight's Gather Round opener. All but one of the 9 games across the 4 days is a sellout. Our tourism industry is already reaping the rewards of hosting this AFL first. Premier Peter Malinauskas says we've reached an accommodation milestone.
Accommodation bookings are the best they have ever been in the history of South Australia over the course of this weekend. We have now surpassed our best ever record that's preceded this weekend, which was only a few weeks ago across WOMAD.
A red alert has been called in northern WA as residents brace for a Category 5 tropical cyclone to make landfall. The warning means people in places including Port Hedland need to shelter immediately. The cyclone is packing winds of up to 285 k's an hour. Department of Fire and Emergency Services Commissioner Darren Clem says people need to take it seriously.
Those warning levels are there for a reason. They're there for people's safety. So it's in the red alert. It's when the actual cyclone is impacting that area that you're going to see your branches, all those things that haven't been tied down around homes and backyards. It is incredibly dangerous to be out in those environments, and it risks the lives of first responders.
The federal opposition is welcoming strong jobs data but says the government must do more to tackle inflation. The national unemployment rate has defied economic forecasts to remain steady at 3.5%. Locally, it's 3.7%. Some economists believe the better-than-expected result will prompt the Reserve Bank to hike interest rates again. Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor says Labor must act on the soaring cost of living.
The government can play a role in taking pressure, those cost of living pressures and those business cost pressures that Australians are facing across the board. We need to see a clear plan in the budget that addresses these pressures.
The federal opposition says issues in Indigenous communities should be addressed directly by the government, not a voice to Parliament. Liberal leader Peter Dutton and Coalition Senator Jacinta Price have been touring Alice Springs for a second day. They want federal police sent in to deal with ongoing violence. Senator Price says it's up to the government to ensure homes and businesses are protected.
It's not the Voice's responsibility to do that. This is what the taxpayer is paying our Prime Minister and our Chief Minister to actually do. You can't handball it. You can't create a mechanism to handball your woes.
And a new study suggests coral bleaching is driving colourful fish away from the Great Barrier Reef. The James Cook University survey finds duller fish populations replace their brighter counterparts since the first bleaching event in 1998. Now turning to 5AA sport, and Adelaide Oval is just hours away from hosting the Gather Round opener between the Crows and Carlton. Crows CEO Tim Silvers has told the 5AA Sports Show it doesn't get much better than this.
It's a magnificent privilege for our footy club to launch Gather Round. We're excited. We haven't played a marquee time slot for about 2 years, so to get a Thursday night launching something like this in South Australia, we're pumped.
Port's team for Saturday's clash with the Western Bulldogs will be released later this hour. Fans are being encouraged to attend tomorrow morning's captain's run at Alberton Oval from 10:15. Richmond will recall Trent Cotchin and Jack Riewoldt for tomorrow's clash with Hawthorn. Their returns come at the Tigers losing Tom Lynch, Toby Nankervis and Jack Graham to injury. Hawthorn midfielder Will Day will miss matches against GWS and Adelaide after losing his appeal at the AFL Tribunal. Geelong withdrew its challenge against Gary Rowan's one-game suspension for rough conduct. And the Thunder has beaten the Pelicans by 5 points in their NBA play-in game, Aussie Josh Giddey scoring a game-high 31 points. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Got road closures in place at Adelaide Oval for the footy tonight, including War Memorial Drive between Montefiore Road and King William Road until 11 tonight. There'll be closures on King William Road, that's from 9 to 11, and also some smoke in the area in the city due to a crash on Franklin Street near Morfett Street, a breakdown at Blackwood on Shepherd's Hill Road, and just be sure to check your speed. Diamond Road, Salisbury North. Get fresh, delicious wok in a box at OTR. Enjoy a pad CU for just $9.95 today. Eat in or take away. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Clear tonight down to 12, evening showers tomorrow 26, Saturday early rain, then showers 19, an early shower or two on Sunday 18. Right now it's 19 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
The AFL Gather Round has finally arrived. We're live at 6 with all the colour and action from this record-breaking event for SA. See how Southern Suburbs tradie tracked down the thief who stole his work van. Cash to quit. The state government move to break your smoking or vaping habit. Plus, travel warning. Could more passport delays be coming? I'm Brenton Raglis. The full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
It is a league first for the national competition. It's pretty exciting. All 9 AFL matches featuring all 18 clubs will be played in a single state for premiership points.
It's going to be a huge weekend of footy, which everyone in our state, but more importantly everyone in our country, can enjoy.
Footy fans from across the country are amassing in Adelaide for something special.
Everyone's coming, and you can do an easy planes, trains and automobiles and cars to get to South Australia, so people are embracing it.
There's genuine excitement from the current players to come over here and play.
It is great to be here, everybody. Welcome to the Gather Round for 2023 here in the magnificent town of Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval.
Gather Round is here.
Showing off this state and football at the heart of it. It is going to be incredibly big and we're excited.
5AA welcomes our many visitors to celebrate the game we all love in the best state.
A festival of footy like none other before it has come to this town, and we're going to put on one hell of a show.
This will be a huge success.
I think this is one of the best grounds in Australia when you've got a full crowd, whether it's Port or Adelaide, when they're yelling and screaming and really vocal, it just echoes through the stadium.
This is the 5AA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Tim Ginniver.
8 minutes after 5, yes, welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. We are only 2 hours away now from the opening bounce of Gather Round. The Crows take on Carlton at 7:10 live on 5AA. Gillon McLachlan will join us at 5:30 in the commentary box, but it's time now to jump onto the Foodland live stream because Caroline Wilson has stopped by thanks to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. Great range with manufacturer's warranties. Go to Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. They're at 919 Marion Road, Marion.
Sweet Caroline.
Yes, each and every Thursday. We got Caroline Wilson on, but now we've got her actually here with us. Isn't this exciting, Stephen? And I don't want to make you jealous, but Caroline and I crossed paths today at lunch.
Oh, did you?
And we've kissed. Yeah.
We didn't actually cross paths. I made an effort. I deliberately sought you out, Tim Gentleman.
See, I didn't want to go down that path.
I was at a salubrious... Were you not invited, Stephen?
Well,
he was, but he had
since
business
Tim's been in the chair, I've been duck shoved just down the run a couple of times, which you could understand.
Pushing me up the front.
Have, embarrassingly, I mean, you talk about what your weight you've put on your cruise.
Well, stop looking at my guts,
I have
please.
eaten... Well, I wasn't until you pointed it out. I have eaten two of probably the best meals I've eaten in the last 5 years, in the last 24 hours, courtesy of the good folk of South Australia.
Now, that was last night, the actual
last night
launch
at McGill
dinner?
Estate. I haven't been there since Rowey and I had a bet on Crows v Tigers in the 2017 Grand Final.
And I had to take Caro to the best restaurant in Adelaide, and I took Nick from Harvey Norman, Carasolas.
If I had to hazard a bet, I would say that he didn't actually pay. But anyway, I did have a fabulous time. And back there last night, look, it is very exciting. It's bloody exciting to be here. I didn't, there wasn't mandatory that I came, because the only permanent gig I have is with you guys on 5AA, 3AW. I could have done it from Melbourne, but I'm so glad I came. I have had the best time, and people have been so welcoming and excited, and Adelaide people are so happy about it, and so far the weather's been fabulous. I'm really impressed.
We were saying earlier that perhaps there'll be a lot of Melbourneites and Victorians that will come over. They haven't been to Adelaide for a long time. Yep. And it might just maybe wash away some of those preconceived ideas about us.
Look, I think you guys have a bit of a chip on your shoulder about Victorians. We don't have preconceived ideas about Adelaide people, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Look at me like
that. You might love us, but the rest of them don't.
In fact, I met a lovely woman there. If Victorians deny South Australia a second successive gather round, I'm like, whoa. First of all, the first one hasn't even happened yet. And it won't be the Victorians who deny it. It'll be the AFL's decision. But I'm firmly...
We're in the box seat.
Look, I did, I'm not going to drop names, but I did sit opposite the Premier today at the lunch that I saw Tim at. And he, you actually, no, I think you were a bit further back.
A
lot further just back. Kidding.
Anyway.
Was
on the Premier's table.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
And I was feeling very important, but his view, and he was doing it, there were some AFL people on the table too, don't you worry, and he was doing a very impressive hard sell. He just said, look, why would we invest the huge money it would take to invest in some other grounds, like one in the Barossa or McLaren Vale, wherever, unless we know we're going to be able to host this for at least the next 3 or 4 years.
Fair call.
And we will put the money in if you're prepared to fund us, to give us, the guarantee that we will be hosting it for more than just this year. I certainly think it needs to come here for one more year after this.
Well, I'm going to say that to Gill at 5:30. He gave the MCG the AFL Grand Final to 2056. Surely he can give us this for 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah, I think... it obviously footy needs much more help in New South Wales than it does in South Australia.
They won't turn up like us.
Well, they won't turn up. That's one thing. You would promote the game, and the SCG would be wonderful. But how do they host games at Giant Stadium because of the Easter show commitments they have up there? I mean, there are so many reasons why it would be tricky. Maybe you do some stuff in Canberra. I personally think definitely for the next 2 years, potentially longer. The fact that you've sold out every game except for the Tigers Sydney game,
which is getting close. I think it's around 40,000. So
getting close. Disappointing, really. But I guess Richmond have been really disappointing in the last couple of weeks, and they're the ones they were hoping would come. But the Premier's laid down the gauntlet, hasn't he, to South Australians
to get there,
to turn up in bigger numbers, and they turned up to the Port Adelaide game,
which was 33,500. I reckon we've tipped that over.
Well, I think they're going to beat it. And I think that's why he preempted it.
And the clubs are happy because they've all got all this extra money in the kick, 750,000 in total, 250,000 of which I think goes to the players, and the rest of it to the clubs and to pay staff. So that's money in the soft cap that they wouldn't normally have. So. And they can afford to do it because this has been an absolute bonanza. And what have the South Australian government paid? 15, 20 million?
Oh, you tell us. They won't tell us. All I know is there's a big Hagues thing out there, so it must have been a lot.
I reckon last night would have had a few zeros on it too. The function at McGill Estate. Guy Sebastian performing.
You've got to say they're getting it back in spades.
Everyone was brilliant. Look, I thought Richard Goyder made a couple of disappointing remarks in his speech that... I think they were jokes, but they fell a bit flat.
Oh, really?
Well, give it to us.
Oh, well, he just, raved about the Premier of South Australia and not unlike Gillon, tall, good-looking, played footy, played good amateur footy. Maybe he should be the next CEO. And given that there are contenders in the room...
Oh, that's...
I mean, some people said I was being a curmudgeon, as I can be at times.
What the hell's a curmudgeon?
Oh, a bit of a negative Nelly, I don't know. But there are a lot
You're not negative, Caro, please.
There are a lot of people who felt that it was inappropriate.
Okay, yeah,
anyway,
I agree.
But he's a man of the hour, isn't he? Peter Malinauskas. Gosh.
He is reasonably good looking.
He spoke so well today.
He has charisma.
Yeah.
Have you seen him kick an AFL footy?
No.
But
he's lucky to
my
get beaten the
husband,
ball.
who's come over here as well, he reckons he was playing amateur footy as recently as last year.
He did.
He did play a game last year.
He did. Have you seen Rolly O'Brien kick a footy?
Yes.
Our Premier's worse than him.
No, mate. Makes him look like Darren Jarman.
Is that harsh? He's not Darren Jarman. We do like him. Now, what are the lies, misinformation and truths about what's happening with Gill?
Well, it was quite funny, wasn't it, that yesterday the story broke that Kylie Watson-Wheeler is another contender who's shot up to, not prime contention, but one of the major contenders for the AFL job. Now, Kylie Watson-Wheeler is the head of Disney in Australia. She's also the president of the Western Bulldogs, as you know. She, in my view, was always in the running, but every time I wrote it or said it, the Bulldogs would tell me that I was wrong.
Okay.
And certainly her CEO, Amit Baines, would say that I was wrong. It's now emerged that she, of course, is still in the running and is presented very well. My view, Stephen, is that she won't get the job.
Okay.
And I think it probably suited the AFL to... I'm not saying they leaked the story, and John Ralph broke the story yesterday in the News Limited newspapers, but I think it probably served their purposes that there is another woman in contention.
Okay.
I think her presentation was very good. My personal view, Andrew Dillon is a clear favourite, and I think that it won't be Kylie Watson-Wheeler, but she did present very well. I don't think he would have been particularly happy that story came out, given that she has not... people have been saying she's not in it. Now I think her club is sort of admitting that, yes, maybe we got that wrong. Maybe she was involved. But I guess everyone else has thrown their hat into the ring, has had to do it in a publicly exposed way. So if they miss out, people are going to be upset when they miss out and feel a bit aggrieved, and it's a bit of, not a public shaming, but it's a bit embarrassing. I mean, for Brendan Gale, for example, it'll be disappointing if he doesn't get it, and I don't think he's out of it yet. Ditto Travis Hall, ditto Andrew Dillon if it's him. But I say again, as I've been banging on to you blokes for weeks, I don't think it's ideal to have this situation still unsolved, given that Gillon said he was going to step down at the end of gather round.
367 days ago.
Well, I was going to say, if it's Andrew Dillon, should it have taken 367 days or longer to make that decision? I just feel like this has gone on a long time.
I think the other thing
come up with somebody who's sitting there.
Yeah, well, that's right. Particularly when you're paying headhunters, several $100,000. What a joke! They always do that, and they never get anyone outside the circle, really.
Correct.
And in the end, a footy person's someone who understands the game has to run the AFL. I think that what happened last year was that Gillon, after COVID and after everything that had happened, I think he was tired. I think, like everyone, he'd had a bit of a gutful. And obviously he's always said he wouldn't do the job over the long term. He always said he wanted to spend his kids' last years of senior school, high school, not in a job like
season.
this.
It's a lot.
And so he stepped down. And I think that, like everyone, I think it was a bit of regret after he did it. And I also think that Richard Goyder really doesn't want him to go.
No, it seems like that because it's the Commission's call.
Yep. But now that he has said he's going, he does have to go.
Of course
and
he
does. Wants to get Tasmania over the line, and I'm firmly of the view that will happen. And maybe that will be his last legacy announcement, and good luck to him, because if he does achieve that, I'll be really impressed. But I just feel that, and it's not so much Gillon, who isn't, he's been, largely brilliant at the job for a long time, but it's just disappointing that we don't have a permanent head of footy. It was funny, I noticed last night, Dave Matthews, who's the CEO of GWS, he sat down, and the guy who was sitting opposite was the umpire who gave the free kick against Stephen Cornelio.
Oh,
Can you believe who did the seating? What were they thinking?
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, and I think they had a pretty amiable conversation, but everyone agrees that that press release that came out after that decision was a joke and dragged the story on for days longer than it needed to.
Well, because they don't have a footy manager. Is that going to be Simon Garlick? That's what I've heard.
Simon was there last night. I asked him that very question, Stephen. I didn't get a straight answer.
Well, that means he's got it.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Okay,
we
well,
don't know who the CEO is. But
don't throw a little lure out to me because I'll bite it like a big tuna,
I
Caro.
think that I certainly think that he would be in the running, and
Okay.
I also think Laura Kane will be in the running. He's doing the job at the moment, but I just think that inside the AFL, I feel there's a bit of disarray is too strong a word, and it's a mean word to use now when this has just been extraordinary what they've achieved. The South Australians in conjunction with the AFL.
Yeah.
But I think, once we're all back in Melbourne and New South Wales and Queensland and Western Australia next week, something has to give.
Okay. It is perceived as being a job for the boys, the AFL. Do you subscribe to that?
Oh, no.
A bit, you got to be born on the right side of the tracks. And
Well, Andrew Demetriou would say that's not true because he went to Pascoe Vale High or something.
Okay.
And nothing wrong with Pascoe Vale High, but he was certainly not born with a silver spoon in his mouth. There's a lot of Xavier and St Peter's and Melbourne Grammar. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. Scotch College. Even, dare I say, among the footballers these days, because of probably the scholarship system, there's a lot more private school kids playing footy. But the other thing that's happening, of course, is the clubs are finally getting jack of the stalemate and of some of the other issues that are going on at the moment and the real problems gripping the game like concussion. And I reckon there's a small group of presidents, representative of the whole, who are starting to agitate.
about concussion?
Among other things.
So where is that? Where is that?
Well, I think that, clubs are worried about, whether they're protected enough. If players do take legal action, there's concern about the fact that Peter Gordon remains an AFL legal advisor in the background. There's a view among some clubs that they don't necessarily agree with all the advice and some of the people chosen to fight on the AFL's behalf, and that Peter Gordon was chairman of the Western Bulldogs when Liam Picken was playing and who's made some pretty... Look, they're only allegations, but they're horrifying allegations against, among others, the medicos at the Western Bulldogs.
Okay. Well, let's look at one. Paddy McCartan has had his 10th concussion. Why would the AFL not say, mate, we're deregistering you. It's unsafe for you to keep playing. We're going to take it out of your hands. Then he can go away and get his own advice, and you can't take that away from him.
Stephen, he won't play again.
Well, okay.
Sure, he won't play again.
Well, he wants to.
I would be
and a player would want to.
Stunned if he is allowed to play football again.
Okay.
And I think he will reach that decision himself.
All right. You don't think the AFL need to come in if it's five concussions, you've been knocked out, you're deregistered?
Well, there's a view, as I think I've said to you a few weeks ago, that some of the clubs want an independent regulator. Mm-hmm. The clubs make the decision week to week, but when it's time for the player to come back, that they want an independent regulator. The AFL don't like that. They think that the club doctors are the right people to do that, but that's just one of the many questions that the clubs are concerned about. And I think Andrew Dillon sent a missive to all the clubs, CEOs and presidents today, but it was more an update and nothing really has been decided.
Okay. Well, Caro, it's great to see you for Gather Round. You're here till Sunday.
Well,
Can Timmy and I sweep you off your feet and take you somewhere?
Can you believe he says, as I walk in, Timmy goes, no, can we do something, would you like to go to dinner? I said, it's Thursday night. I mean...
That's how I roll.
I'll
get you out to Gauchos or something, my shout. Yeah.
Too little, too
I'll
late.
grab a handful.
As always.
Okay, as always, too little, too late. Well, Nick Karasoulis is here, good mates of ours from
Look, it's
Harvey
my wedding anniversary. My husband and I are going to...
Today?
Well, yeah.
Congratulations.
Is it? Yep, and we're calling it today because it's actually on Saturday, but it's Essendon, Melbourne, and Brendan's an Essendon supporter.
How many years married?
34.
Oh, you've beaten me.
It's actually the Premier's wedding anniversary today.
It is
today. It is.
And
so
it's
you
your
got married.
birthday.
You got married in '89.
I did.
So did I.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Well, anyway, we're going to a smart restaurant for our early anniversary, and it's very nice of you to offer. Far too late, but thanks for the thought.
Caro, brought to us by Harvey Norman Clearance Centre. Great range with manufacturer's warranties. Harvey Norman's Clearance Centre, 919 at Marion Road, Marion. Lovely to see you, Caro. Have a lovely weekend.
And you have a fabulous gather round. I reckon the Crows are certainties tonight.
Hope so.
All right.
Hang on.
Oh, cue
dear.
the thunderclouds.
Never say something like
Thanks,
that.
Caro.
Straight before the
See
game.
ya.
23 minutes after 5. Gillon McLachlan coming up in about 10 minutes' time. First, we'll check your traffic.
Got some closures in place at Adelaide Oval for the footy tonight, including War Memorial Drive between Montefiore Road and King William Road. That's going until 11. Cars gone into a building at Hove on Brighton Road near Dunrobin Road. A crash at Richmond on Marion Road near Richmond Road. Major crash at Wingfield on Grand Junction Road near Gallipoli Drive. Got some heavy delays there in all directions. Aussie owned. The lottery office has a massive $715 million up for grabs in the USA Mega Lotto. Visit lotteryoffice.com.au now before it's gone. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Gather round, people, I'll tell you a story.
South Australia has a story to tell, so gather round, Australia. From the hills to the coast, our state is abuzz with a festival of football like you've never seen before. Every team from every state, and we welcome all visitors with open arms. It's all happening here in South Australia, and 5AA is your home for Gather Round.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar. More and more South Australians are taking control of their energy bills with solar and battery storage. In fact, Australians are taking up battery storage in record numbers because they're sick of rising power bills and being locked into a system where someone else calls the shots. The other huge bonus of going with NRG Solar and battery storage is that you'll be protected from blackouts with an uninterrupted power supply. Take control. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Yeah, live at Adelaide Oval. Carlton just warming up towards the Cathedral. In Crows guys at the Riverbank stand in. Cannot wait. 7:10. Live and local on 5AA. Gather round. It'll be great. Hey, if you're a food service business owner or chef, you can't miss the SA Food Service Expo. It's on the Tuesday, the 18th of April. That's next Tuesday, and it is presented by Galipo Foods. This is South Australia's largest food service expo. Meet directly with 110 manufacturers, sample over 1,000 of the latest food products, plus meet the latest equipment and service providers on hand to benefit your business. This is a trade-only event open to any food service business in SA. All you have to do is register. Visit galipofoods.com.au/expo. That's the SA Food Service Expo presented by Galipo Foods. Thanks to Galipo Foods, celebrating 40 years of supplying South Australian food service industry in 2023. They're a great team, Galipo Foods.
Thinking of painting and don't know where to start?
We do, because we know paint at Crowey's.
So, visit Crowey's. And while you're there, join Crowey's Club to get 10% off everything.
We know paint at Crowey's.
I'm here at Cherry Glen Osmond to take a test drive of the car that everyone is raving about, the Cherry Motor 5. Oh, these seats are so comfortable, and the state-of-the-art tech is worthy of a car 3 times its price. And almost every function of the vehicle can be controlled by voice. Check this out. Cherry.
Yes, I'm here.
Open sunroof.
Got it. It's opening.
Book yourself a test drive of this incredible Motor 5 from 33k drive away. Visit gocherry.com.au.
The rising cost of living is impacting all of us. Australians are finding it harder and harder to afford the essentials, and many are choosing to go without their essential prescription medicines. Australians shouldn't have to choose between medicines and other essentials. Visit affordablemedicines.com.au today to demand the government set a maximum price of $19 for prescription medicines. Authorised by Susan Greenwood, the Pharmacy Guild of Australia, Canberra.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
28 minutes after 5, Gillon McLachlan coming up in about 5 minutes' time. So if you haven't jumped on the Foodland live stream, it is time to do so. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies. He'll be in at 5:30.
Certainly will, and we're live at Adelaide Oval here, just watching the Crows go through their paces, warming up. Ned McHenry, we know, is the sub. Stiff, we've said that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Carlton at the other end, they've got a couple of good ins as well.
Yeah, look, they have, but they've also got Doherty out.
Big out.
I know Harry Mackay survived the tribunal. What would you say? They challenged it and got him off.
Can't read the tribunal. We might put that to Gill.
I don't think he'd be able to read it either,
No,
quite frankly.
no.
But you know what it does do? It just makes for two really good forward lines to go head to head. I'm loving the fact that you've got the Crows forward line, which is functioning unbelievably.
Dynamic.
Now with Fogarty in it and Thilthorpe at the other end, we know that their two tools do very well. We'll just see what their crummers can do.
We did get a good text come through on the Foodland text line, basically along the lines of, well, Fogarty played the first two games they lost. Thilthorpe played the last two games they won. So why are you putting Fogarty back in? Well, it's either Fogarty or Gallant, and I think everyone would pick Fogarty over Gallant. I think Gallant's going to have a good career. He's going to be there a while, and he's really coming on. But I want to see the Thilthorpe Fogarty Walker combination with those smalls. We haven't seen a lot of that, have we?
No, and that's probably the excitement, I think, for Rochelle and Rankin and all the rest of it. They'll be thinking, well, we've got another one to get in front of, get some crumbs and get some front and centre goals. So, look, that's where I think, Scott Camporeale pointed out to us last night at our sponsors' dinner that actually this is something we haven't seen from Carlton, so they might be under the pump tonight. That's a big job for the defenders of Adelaide.
We'll talk about Port Adelaide and their team. That'll drop very, very shortly if there's any changes with that. We are live at Adelaide Oval. Can't wait. Picture perfect. If you've got a ticket, please come. We want to get 50,000 here. Gillon McLachlan's on his way over from the McLachlan room. If you've got a question for him, shoot it through to the Foodland tax 0448 08 1395.
Yep, Gil next. Let's get the latest from the newsroom with Mel Usher.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Tens of thousands of footy fans have arrived in town for the Gather Round, which has seen occupancy rates in our hotels hit an all-time high. The state government is cracking down further on smokers and vapors. They're set to be banned from more outdoor areas like beaches and sporting events. The national unemployment rate has defied economic forecasts to remain steady at 3.5%. And in sport, Hawthorn's Will Day will miss matches against GWS and Adelaide after losing his appeal at the AFL Tribunal. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Worried about cheap insurance? Who offers great value cover you won't regret? Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au and consider whether it's right for you.
Road closures in place for the footy tonight at Adelaide Oval, including War Memorial Drive between Montefiore Road and King William Road. That's going until 11. Car's gone into a building at Hove on Brighton Road near Dunrobin Road. Got a crash at Richmond on Marion Road near Richmond Road. Major crash at Wingfield on Grand Junction Road near Gallipoli Drive. Also quite busy at the moment, Green Hill Road between Fullerton Road and Glen Osmond Road. Get fresh, delicious wok in a box at OTR. Enjoy a pad CU for just $9.95 today. Eat in or take away. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast clear tonight down to 12, evening showers tomorrow 26. Right now it's 18 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast.
There is only one question South Australians are asking themselves at the moment. You going? Seriously.
7 out of the 9 games sold out.
I reckon they're all going to sell out.
Informing Adelaide.
It's become a thing, and the whole country is really into this. I think we're going to get total bang for our buck out of it. The tactical shift from the Premier. The plan is to do this so well that everyone says, hey, this gather round in Adelaide's cool.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores, from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Get ready, South Australia. AFL Gather Round, a festival of footy, is heading to your great state for round 5 of the 2023 Toyota AFL Premiership season. Bring your family and friends and enjoy a fun day out at the Pepsi Max Footy Festival, located at Elder Park and Pinky Flat, this Thursday to Sunday. See your favourite players, feast on amazing food and enjoy live music and entertainment.
The greatest show on earth!
Gather round it. Go to afl.com.au/gatherround.
You don't have to head south to taste your way around McLaren Vale. Just head north to your pals. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through the McLaren Vale region all under one roof. Whether you're a weekend sommelier or just know you like reds, talk wine with your pals and they'll introduce you to their best McLaren Vale pals. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Celebrate footy's first ever gather round with a massive sunrise brekkie party. Friday morning, live from Elder Park, join us for a huge morning of fun and prizes. Sunrise, live from Adelaide, tomorrow morning on 7 and 7+.
Ken Hall Plumbers. We're local, we're family, and we're a trusted South Aussie. Blocked drain? Leaky tap? Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers. 8364 5855.
Barney here from Barbecue Adelaide, Weber Stores. Are you digging your old barbie out of your shed just to roll a couple of snags around on it and then spend hours cleaning it? Well, throw the old piece of junk in the bin and come shout yourself a new Weber Q with 10% off the entire range, ready for this footy season. So, for everything Barbie this footy season, come see me, Barnsey, at Barbecue Adelaide Weber Stores, Gems Cross and Mile End, and prepare to get lit.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
25 minutes to 6. Jump on the Foodland live stream if you haven't already on Facebook and YouTube, because Gillon McLachlan is moments away, and so is Port Adelaide's team. That'll drop at 10 minutes to 6.
Well, there's a lot of Foodland texts as we welcome you back. We are live at Adelaide Oval. Crowd starting to build, Timmy. 7:10 start for Gather Round. National stage. We had Tim Silvers on earlier. National eyeballs. Standalone game to kick off Gather Round. You don't want to get stage fright. These are the games you've got to win.
I reckon they'll probably... television audience-wise, you might be around about the 1.5 million.
There you go.
It's massive for your commercial partners. Believe me, the likes of Harvey Norman of the world, they would love this.
Well, they would if Harvey Norman was on their top.
Exactly.
Their clearance centre. They had Caro on earlier. Couple of questions for Gil. He's just on his way up from the McLachlan room as we speak. Where are we at with the National Reserves competition, question mark, anytime soon from Bill? That is a good question. I think that is inevitable.
Yeah, I know.
Inevitable.
I think I said to you that my understanding was that it was delayed because of the advent of the women's comp.
Correct.
Coming in 8 seasons ago. So that is one thing I think that's delayed it. And we all know that there's a heavy cost in the transport and accommodation side of that and getting those sides over into the other states. So I know it's a heavy one. So it probably could be done with a new TV deal.
Okay. Question for Gil. His connection with the Adelaide Hills and how he sees Mount Barker going for Saturday from Ben. We've had a couple of photos taken from Sam, who went out to Mount Barker because he's calling the game on the weekend, and it looks unbelievable. Now, whether it rains or not, I don't think that's going to be the difference. It's sold out. Yeah. It's a great deck. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's in the Adelaide Hills. I think it's going to be great whether it rains or pours. Well, it is a winter sport.
Gave away some tickets earlier, didn't we? And Sam said, no, I'll be right, mate. I'm a local. Don't worry.
Just one last one as we wait for Gil. First 2 games without Rowey, Crows lost. Next 2, they won. Could we? Oh, yes. Now, that is a good stat.
Well, I think
that
you wrote
Timmy.
it.
No,
think you
I
wrote it.
didn't. Who's that from? That's on the Foodland text. Could we?
Well, it's
Timmy,
like
all
your
due
language.
credit to myself.
Yes, indeed it
all
is.
due credit to myself. How good is
I
that?
do like that, mate. But yeah, look, it is exciting, and I just think that the opportunity now. And Matthew Nix touched on it. He just said we're going to be on a big stage. We haven't handled that well before.
No,
and that's why we asked Brodie Smith the other night, "What's your role in that?" Because he has one of the 200 game plus players that they've got. They've got 4 of them. They're the guys that are going to have to be handling those emotions and just keeping everybody in check.
Yeah. What do you reckon Port will do? You've got Burton back. Would that be your only change?
Burton will come back. Look, yeah, he'll definitely come back in. Of
course he does.
He's very much missed, but I think they'll keep. Dylan Williams played an excellent game. I don't think he'll come out of the side. And I think Mead and McEntee just gave them the chase, tackle and harass that they've actually missed prior. And I think, it raised it a level. The one that's probably in danger is Junior Rioli.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Was he subbed out in the end? I think he was for DBJ.
He was.
And DBJ did give him a bit of a bite
Well, he
there,
played the high half forward role really well. You never know. Could he? Yeah, it could be a new role altogether. So there you go.
Well, it's going to be a massive game for both
There is a
clubs.
rumour floating around that Tom Jonas could be out.
Okay.
So
injured or
I figure it'd be injury. A
bit of both.
Big story if it was out on form. I thought that was his best game for the year, so I don't think it'd be on that. So I think it'd have to be injury if that's the case.
Who comes in for him?
Well, they might just go with the reintroduction of Burton.
Okay.
And put Burton in there and then...
one for one.
1 for 1.
Gil's on his way up. We'll take a break and we'll be back with him. Get your questions in. We've got that Foodland text. Actually, since we've said that, it's gone off the dial, Timmy.
It has indeed. There's quite a few there, mate, so we'll get to them after the break.
We certainly will. 20 to 6. Let's check your traffic.
Road closures in place for the footy tonight at Adelaide Oval, including War Memorial Drive between Montefiore Road and King William Road. That's going until 11. Car's gone into a building at Hove on Brighton Road near Dunrobin Road. Got a crash at Richmond on Marion Road near Richmond Road. Major crash at Wingfield on Grand Junction Road near Gallipoli Drive. Also quite busy at the moment. Green Hill Road between Fullerton Road and Glen Osmond Road. Get fresh, delicious wok in a box at OTR. Enjoy a pad CU for just $9.95 today. Eat in or take away. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. 5AA's Weekend of Footy, thanks to EcoVantage. Install an energy-efficient heat pump with EcoVantage. Pump your energy bills down. EcoVantage.com.au.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And Business SA and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So, when an alliance is formed between Business SA and Ray White Business Sales SA, they're bringing all their experience to your business, making sure it's in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. So go on, touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with Business SA.
Nobody knows paint like the Crowies. I should know because I was a Timmy.
A master painter.
Master painter, mate. And here's the thing you're going to love about the local Crowie stores. They have all the answers. And when you go into a paint store, that's what you want. Doesn't matter what you're painting or staining, they'll be able to help you. Just ask whatever question you want. What are you painting? Are you a chair? Is it a door, a wall, a house, a shed?
Is it a studio?
Is it a skyscraper? Is it Timmy's chinny chin chin?
Oh, that'll
Happy
take a while.
birthday, Timmy. That'll take some paint, won't it? They have all the answers. Now, whether it's timber or metal or tiles or steel, whatever you're painting, Crowies can help. And you'll love the prices too. High quality, the best price, and certainly the best service, I should know. Remember, Crowies only sell premium quality paint. Visit crowiespaints.com.au for a store near you.
You've selected the block for your new permanent or holiday home. Now it's time to visit the Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village. Walk through the Esperance. Stylish and modern, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and large open plan living. The Hallett, spacious 2-bedroom design. And the Inman 4. Plenty of living space for the family with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, dual living areas and carport. Take a look. Selector Homes and Building Solutions, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
Celebrate footy's first ever gather round with a massive sunrise brekkie party. Friday morning, live from Elder Park, join us for a huge morning of fun and prizes. Sunrise, live from Adelaide, tomorrow morning on 7 and 7+.
I'm here with Adam at Cherry Glen Osmond to see the new Cherry Emoda 5. What a spectacular looking car, but it's more than a showstopper. Why don't we jump in and take a look? Wow, beautiful interior. So Adam, talk us through some of the features.
It has it all, Will, including customisable ambient lights, custom voice commands, safety tech and so much more.
And all from 33k, which is insane. Book a test drive today at gocherry.com.au.
At Anderson Solicitors, putting people first is second nature. No matter who you are or what your problem is, we are committed to helping find the right solution for you every time. With locations across the state, whether you need help with family law, commercial law, wills and estates or personal injury claims, talk to Andersons today. Visit andersons.com.au or phone 8238 6666. Anderson Solicitors. People first in every case.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
16 to 6, we have a special guest in the building.
We do. Crows v Carlton kicks off for Gather Round in just over 90 minutes. The town's alive. Everyone's here, including the big names. None bigger than our next guest, AFL CEO Gillon McLachlan. Gill, welcome. We are not worthy.
Thank you for having me, boys. I appreciate it. It's very good to be here, isn't it? And it's actually good to be the Ovens. After a lot of days of meeting and everything, it's good to be the footy, frankly.
Yeah, it is.
But it's extraordinary out there. And just going to send a photo. There's like thousands of people at training for Richmond, and there's all the sites are full, and it's pumping. And it's just... it's great to be in this town.
I said to you the minute you walked into our commentary box, it was always going to work. It's South Australia. Did I not? And you've had a number of people say it. It was always Gill going to work.
I never had a doubt.
No.
Others were a little less decisive. But I tell you, everything about this town works for this. It's the right sort of size that people can get around and run into each other and aggregate. It's got one of the great venues close to the city. It's got great suburban thing. Venues, and Norwood Oval was the one going to be used. The hills are great. We build that thing. And a sort of thing that we hadn't thought about is actually central to every other city. And everyone's finding it easy enough to get to Adelaide. So everyone's loving it. Seems much more obvious now than it might at the time, but as I said, I think it's been the right call.
It was your easiest decision ever. Come on.
It actually wasn't.
Right.
This is what I pay Premier to credit to the Premier. He was the one who turned everyone, because if you're going to start something like this from scratch, there's so much work. And you need a partner who's going to lean in, and he was so committed to it, and he sort of just convinced us they'd be there, and the state government have been unbelievable.
When you first muted it was like almost instantly he's picked up the phone and got on. How did that first conversation go?
So what happened was, if you go back a step, you remember the clubs all said they just want one practice game, and then they came out and played like a home and away game, belted each other, guys were getting suspended, injured.
Yep.
And the next morning in the lead up to home and away, I had a breakfast with the captains. So why don't we just play for real if you're doing that? And I said, righto. And I said, well, you guys will all get paid. And then, so we put the concept out. And according to the Premier, he got it in his papers. He goes, we've got to be in on that. And they were way behind it. And then he rang up. And I said, I think there's a few ahead of you in the queue. And he said, well, I'm coming to Melbourne for grand final week. And he just stalked everyone. He was a hard tag. He waited outside rooms. He was a heavy tag. He was a complete pest.
Great.
It was actually refreshing to see.
He did a lingy.
Yeah.
He was a lingy.
And isn't that better?
It is so much better.
Standing back?
If someone wants it like this, you know that you're going to have a willing partner. And I give great credit to this government for basically making us give it to them, because we knew they would work with us to make it happen, and that's how it's played out.
Are you pleasantly surprised, perhaps, by the way it's been embraced, not only in South Australia but elsewhere?
I am. I mean, we've sold... There's 8 of 9 games sold out now. There's 1,000 tickets left for tomorrow night. That's it. So of that 200, roughly 1,000 tickets, 60,000 have come from outside South Australia.
Excellent.
So the whole of the country is going... It's obviously school holidays in time like that, but they're coming here and they're driving over from Melbourne. 20,000 have come from Melbourne.
Wow.
But there's still 40,000 come from everywhere else. So it's an amazing thing that's happening, that everyone who loves football has come to this town and are loving it. And there's just such a good feel and spirit about it.
What is the measures for success? Because Bums on Seats sold out. We're going to have 9 from 9. TV audience will be huge. Don't worry about the weather. We're going to turn it on. We're a great state. You know that. It's your home state. So what is the measure for us
George
to do it next
Bush
year?
once said, we're going to get the weather to cooperate with us.
Okay. It is a winter sport. But what are the measures? Because we're going to put the heat on you, Gil, in the 5AA commentary box. You've signed over the AFL Grand Final to 2056. Surely one of your parting gifts would be us to have this for more than 1 year, Mr. Gillon McLachlan.
It wasn't planned, but the states make a pretty compelling case.
Okay.
In terms of I think the fact that games are all going to be sold out, but people are embracing it, that it feels like Adelaide's the right sort of town. So, there are no commitments. We'll see. We've got to execute over the next few days, but there's certainly been a change of tonality at the AFL House about all that in the last week or so.
We had your younger brother in. He wants to know if you can remember who won the under-10s best and fairest at Mount Torrens.
He walks around half an hour before me.
Is that his badge? Is that his badge of honour, the under-10s?
He was a very skilled outside player, my brother.
I love that. I love
very
that.
outside.
See a little bar
That'll
there.
get back.
Hey, he did ask us, what about your first commercial venture? And he said it was at the farm. Can you remember it?
Yeah, I do. It was a fine-looking pig called Ruby. Bred piglets. $25 from the Murray Bridge Market.
Wow.
Went down there with the old man. He said, you save up that money, we'll go and buy it. And then I remember building the sty, and then she had a lot of pigs.
You started with a
lot of piglets. Started with a pig called Ruby. Transitioned into a few cattle, and obviously was a big manure salesman as well.
And the rest
Dad
is
graciously granted us all of the sheep shit under the shearing shed. It was a very generous deal.
Now, one last one, because we're getting the wind up. You need to go. No,
I was a hustler then, I tell you.
On behalf of SA Footy and on behalf of me as a fan, well done. Congratulations on your year. I know you don't want to hear all that. You've done a mighty job. There's no question about that. Couple of things we're not too sure of. One is the tribunal. Do you know what the hell they're doing?
I'm not so sure about that either.
Well, there you go, yeah.
But I've come to accept that it's the system. Okay. And the system actually needs a course of appeal.
Okay.
I do feel that. Otherwise, you end up in huge legal challenges. I think there has never been... I haven't known a more worthy Brownlow winner than Paddy Cripps, but I was agitated with that.
Yes.
And I said that publicly. There was a bit of controversy about that. I don't understand a couple of decisions in the last week, but that's the decision. Okay. And that's the process. And I think we'd have more issues if there was no process for people to appeal.
Yeah, fair call.
And I'm okay with that, but I don't agree with it all like you. That's how it works.
Okay. Last one. 367 days since you said you're going. Who's keeping you in the chair? Is it Richard Gorder, is it? You don't want to leave, do you? You're Johnny Farnham. You just...
I think a year's short, isn't it?
God. Gil, well done. Thanks for your time.
Boys.
You're an absolute star.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and I hope we get the gains we deserve. Thanks
Crows
for
win
support.
tonight?
I think they do.
Done. Gil, you're a
That's
star.
the kiss of death, unfortunately.
Oh, no, cue the thunderclouds. Well done, Gil. Well done. Gil McLachlan leaves. Well done. Fantastic. We're just about ready. Gil said they'll win. They'll win, Tim.
Well, there it is. Well, I don't even know why we're staying around.
Okay, fair call. I've got to call the game.
That's up wide.
Couple of changes for Port Adelaide. We'll do those after the break.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Things need topping up from time to time, including your COVID-19 protection. Even if you've been vaccinated, boosters can top up your defences and reduce the risk of serious COVID illness. If you're an adult and it's 6 months since your last COVID vaccination or infection, you can now get the latest vaccine. Top up your COVID protection. Visit health.gov.au/top-up to book your free booster or to find out more. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Need an electrician and need one today? Ken Hall Electricians do it all. From lighting, power points and appliance installation to a full house rewire. No job is too big or small. Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Electricians, 8364 5855.
Did you know you can explore Aldi's catalogue online so you can enjoy our low prices here? Or even here. Browse Aldi's online catalogue at aldi.com.au or pick up a printed version in store. Aldi, good, different.
Barnacle Bill, serving South Australia with quality cooked seafood for over 50 years. Each order is freshly prepared using the finest quality seafood. Sumptuous prawns, calamari, mouth-watering butterfish and chips with Barnacle Bill's own tartare sauce. From a snack pack for one, crew pack for four, or for the whole family. Come in and see why Barnacle Bill has been serving South Australia quality quality seafood for over 50 years.
Fresh from the sea, he's gotta be Barnacle Bill.
Furniture on its last legs? Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips Furniture Frenzy.
Cheapest Chips.
Level up with the Henley and Grange gaming chair, only $129, save $120. Hide the clutter with the My Home broom cupboard, only $139, save $40. And stash the snacks in the My Home pantry, 20% off, now $239.20. With a huge range of more furniture in store and online. Live cheaper and don't miss the Cheapest Chips Furniture Frenzy.
Hey, you in the car. If your next service is due, just remember that Mawson Lakes Mazda has your back. We'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on us. Your car gets the love too, with our state-of-the-art service centre brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, we'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Whether a hobby or a full-blown dairy and livestock farm, they all have one thing in common: the need for good quality steel to keep livestock safe and secure. At Knorr Metals, we have just that. From rural fencing and gates to droppers, loading ramps and more, you'll find what you need for your farm. And if we don't, we'll source it for you quickly and at the best price. No matter what kind of farm you have, we'll help you out. At Knorr Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottawa.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
6 minutes to 6. We're counting down just over an hour to go till bounce down of the opening match at Gather Round. The Crows taking on Carlton at the Adelaide Oval. We are live there with Rowey and Timmy G. And boys, the Port Adelaide team has dropped.
Yeah, look, it has, and I'll just give you the ins and the outs. Burton is back in the lineup. Mead has been omitted, and so has Tom Jonas, not omitted, but out with injury. He's managing a knee. So, yeah, we've got a little whisper that might occur. But the emergencies for Port Adelaide, Tom Cleary, Jackson Mead, Riley Bonner, and Mitch Georgiades. So, out of that, maybe it's Mead that becomes the sub.
Is he stiff?
I think he's stiff. I think he's stiff.
They're really making him earn it, aren't they?
Yeah, I love the fact him and McEntee came in and just produced that high pressure game that they needed, chase, tackle, harass. So I thought they were really good. I think Junior Rioli has survived. And that's probably 3 underwhelming games.
Yeah, and 3 big outs too for the Western Bulldogs. Alex Keith, we know, was injured with that concussion. Bailey Smith, which is probably their best player, and Hayden Crozier does pretty well forward and back. He's a bit of a utility. 3 big outs. Big game for Port.
Yeah, so there's well, it is. Of course, it is this early in the season. You've got to get and bank those points. Tom Jonas actually spoke about beating the Western Bulldogs.
It'd be nice when we beat the Bulldogs this week and have won 2 in a row, and we can start to show that continuity.
And then he did actually go on to say, look, we've got to get more consistent.
It has been a challenge, and look, we haven't necessarily found the answer for that, but we've been searching pretty hard.
Haven't found the answer, but searching hard.
Yeah, I thought...
Well, hang on, Turbo.
I thought there was a lot to like about the fight and the grit against Sydney.
20 points down twice came back to win.
So that's that KPI I spoke about, never ever give up. Just make sure that's always in your kit bag. Yep. And if you do that, you're going to be appreciated more often than not by the Port supporters. So I just think that at times, and TJ's out with an injury, but at times Port Adelaide, they want to get back to that model. And then what happens then? If you just fire up with the grit, what ends up happening is the other bits of your game come together because the desire's there to make it happen.
Yeah, and that will give you consistency, really, won't it?
Of course it will.
Once you can put that in the bank and bank on that, and every time you're out there, for every second of every quarter, and then put quarter and quarter together, you'll put games and games together. But they need to, don't they? What are you, 2-2? Bulldogs? 2-2. They don't fear coming here. Saturday night, sold out, 50,000.
No, they've played some really gritty footy themselves. They didn't start well either.
No.
They had a 5-point victory against Richmond last week, which was a hard-fought game. They're one of those sides that like to fight it out. So Port are going to have to take it up for the whole time to beat them. But look, at home, I don't know. I just think the weight of expectation around Gather Round, it should work for them.
Just one last one before we go to the 6 o'clock news. Mitch Georgiadis, 3 goals last week, was probably the best for them. He's a cut above Sanford level, still out.
Yeah, look, he's in that emergency list. It's a real concern for me in that I'm a Mitch fan. I don't want to lose him next year, and that's a real problem for me. Him sitting there, not playing AFL, just always leans the pendulum towards WA, which I don't like.
So Charlie Dixon, you're not going to drop him. Last week he turned it on, and he's your big brute down there. If you look at Finlayson, because of his flexibility to go on the ball, you're not going to tip him out.
Yeah.
It's either him or Todd.
Yeah, and that's what
it's always going to come down to.
It's always the way it's come down, and that may be, unfortunately, what squeezes him out eventually. But, Charlie's of an age, he can't go forever.
No, he can't. Almost up against the 6 o'clock news. Just one last Foodland text. Caught my eye as we were talking there, Timmy. We're live at Adelaide Oval. The lights are on. The crowd is building. Unbelievable. Would Gillon McLachlan ever attend a Timmy Ginniver fringe show? Now, there's a question we didn't ask.
Yeah, funny thing is, I think he already has. I don't think so.
No,
if he didn't pay.
No.
Right, time to get to the newsroom with Mel Usher. On the other side, more chances for you to win tickets to the Gather Round, including the Port Bulldogs Saturday match, and Mason Redmond and Stewie Jew.
The FIVEAA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.